Welcome to Between Batches, where life happens between batches.
We're two friends figuring out life in what we lovingly call our queenager era.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Danielle.
So while something's coming together in the kitchen,
we're talking about everything else.
So let's get into what we're batching today.
And what are we batching today?
We are batching chocolate chip cookies, but specifically your Nani's recipe.
Yay, we are. And so I will post this in our show notes, but it is my Nani's recipe on our pretty little, if you're watching us instead of listening, I love like the old recipe cards that get all like grease stained and tattered and stuff.
You have their handwriting. I love that.
Yes. And then of course the few changes, sorry Nani, that I have made over the years to the recipe.
Absolutely. Okay. So
yes.
You rest these in the fridge overnight, right?
I do. So I like to make my cookie dough the day before I'm going to bake it and put them in the refrigerator for 24 hours. I have stretched it to 48. You can also put them in the freezer. It just really depends on how like thick and chewy you like your cookie. And then you just batch them out and put them in the fridge and then put them on your tray. And then we're going to pop these in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes. And then we'll be back to taste them.
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right. Well, the cookies are in the oven. Let's set the table.
Yes, let's set the table. So what is our table topic today?
Kids. We felt like, cookies and kids, a good alliteration, but also we're parenting at different ages and stages. Yeah. And although we do not claim to be experts in any way, shape, or form,
definitely not.
We've seen a lot over the last few years. Absolutely. And we also we each have a boy and a girl, different ages. We both also have a kiddo that has some special needs. So we do. And we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Parenting atypical, and just parenting through that, like she said,
all the ages,
teenagers and preteens and adult children, because if you think you stop parenting once they turn 18, oh boy, howdy, let me tell you.
Yes. Okay. So what has surprised you the most?
Oh, goodness gracious. I think I have been surprised at the way my kids have handled each other, especially having a typical and a special needs.
Yeah.
That has been very interesting. I'm very surprised how much I love being friends with my adult children.
I look forward to that someday.
I don't condone being best friends with your under 18s, but with my one who is a full-fledged adult, it is super fun to be friends with him. And I think the last thing that has surprised me the most is just their ability to kind of take in the world and become these people. Yeah, where there were no people before. Yeah. It's really just fascinating.
Yeah. I think I am surprised the absolute most about how little I knew. Like I babysat a lot growing up. I taught swimming lessons. I have been around children my whole life in a not necessarily parenting role, but like a leadership role. But you don't know what you don't know. And until you're like in the thick of it and you just figure it out, like you're so like, I don't know. I've been surprised at how much I didn't know, but how figure outable it has all been.
And have you been surprised at how vastly different your children are? Same parents, same DNA, same raising, same rules, but they are like complete opposite humans.
Absolutely.
It is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah. I used to be like very much like nature versus nurture. I thought a lot of it was all nurture. But being a parent has taught me that no, you can parent them the same. And obviously each kid has their own quirks. So you have to do things a little differently, but
for sure.
No. Yeah. I absolutely agree with you on that.
It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So how has your experience been? As you mentioned, we each have a special needs kid, different special needs, each special needs. And your special needs child is your male child, and my special needs child is my female child. So how has your experience been raising your special needs kid versus raising your peer typical kid?
I think they're, night and day, almost. I think that, and he is second. So, I think his sister was almost like exceptional, like not just typical, but like she talked quicker, she walked quicker, she had all of those things, and she's always been very responsible. Just that's just who she be. And so when he was not hitting those milestones, um, everyone just said, "Oh, he's a boy.
Right.
Oh, it'll, all of these things. Don't compare your kids." But I think another
Which
thing,
is all sound
it is all
parenting
valid,
advice.
very
Yeah.
much so. But I think what I would say too is trust your gut. If you know something is off, like you can just feel it, like
Yeah.
keep asking questions. And we may do a whole episode about parenting special needs
Yeah.
kiddos and the
That's
whole
gonna
ball
need
of
to be
wax
more
that
than
that
one
is.
episode, sure. And you're so right. We say often to each other, like, trust your mommy gut. Like,
Yes.
your
I think we just
listen to your mommy
listen
gut.
to your mom gut.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
What about you? What have you found with special needs versus typical?
So, special needs, at least in our household, definitely requires a lot more hands-on parenting as they get older. Um, for sure. So a lot more time invested.
Yeah.
A lot more hand holding, a lot more meetings with teachers at school. Time commitment is just, I mean, not that you don't give your typical child
Absolutely.
a lot of time, but there is that wonderful, like, as they start to grow, they become more responsible and more independent, and then you get to pull away. And there is some of that with a special needs child, but it is, at least in our house for our special needs kiddo, far less significant. And so she is still a lot more hands on.
Yeah.
And probably always will be.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
And you can't parent them the same.
No, you really can't. And even the boy versus girl, for both of us, I know that looks very different. My daughter is uber responsible, like I said,
Mhm.
and we felt like we can lessen the reins. I don't know what that saying is actually supposed to be.
I don't either.
Let go of them a little bit, and give her a little bit more freedom. My son still requires a lot more redirecting.
I think some of that is the special needs, and I think some of that is just boys.
Oh, I think that some of it's boys too.
I think they are just so much less responsible and communicative than girls.
And I don't know about yours, but like I can remember when he was really little, like everything turned into a truck and they smashed each other and we climbed on things.
Yep.
And
there was pretending we were a puppy. Did yours have any of those phases?
No.
Mine was a puppy for
a puppy.
I don't know, probably about 6 months. He was thoroughly convinced. I mean, he was like 3,
Right,
but he thought he was a puppy.
Yeah. No, I don't think we were a puppy.
But didn't Bubba have a phase of kitty?
So I can't remember. I was actually thinking that I was like during Corona, during the COVID-19 lockdown, he was pretty little and we had the Corona kitty. That was and we have a cat and we had a cat then. And the cat was apparently what was spreading Corona. And so I don't know that he ever pretended to be a cat, but we had a definite phase where we talked about cats a lot.
I remember a lot of meowing.
Perhaps, yes. I might have blocked that out.
You might have blocked that out.
Yes. Yes. Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. So going back to our typical kiddos, again, yours is female, mine is male. How have you been doing at letting them go as they get older? Because yours is a junior, right?
Yeah. And
mine is a full-fledged adult. He is no longer in school. So how has that looked? What has that looked like for you? How have you handled that?
Yeah. I feel like it's a balance that you're never fully like balanced for me at this point. It is letting her go. Like the first time she drove to school by herself, was almost like I didn't, but I very much wanted to like watch Life 360 the entire time she was driving. But just the trust, but checking in. She has had the opportunity on more than one occasion now to go on a trip with a friend, like a flying trip with a friend. And that has been hard because you really have no control, right? You're letting go and doing it in a manner in which they're also still, they're safe and that they're with trusted adults and people that you trust. has helped, but I know that like college is coming and that part is still really scary.
Yeah. So I think for me, it was my twin. He is very introverted. And so there was not, I didn't have a lot of prep time to let him go when he was a teenager
Right.
and in high school. He was one of those kiddos that there's like this trend now where they don't want to drive. So he didn't
Right.
want to get his driver's license. Um, and because he was so introverted, he had friends, but not a ton. And they're boys. So they would like
Yeah.
play video games or go to the pool. Like I remember the first time he wanted to go to the community pool without me. That was like a big deal. So it was really kind of, we went from like nothing to, okay, now you're going to college, bye. And then you're moving out of my house, bye. And so
Yeah.
that was harder than I thought it would be. I will fully admit I am not a crier. You know, I'm not a crier.
I'm not a crier.
But we dropped, she's our crier. It's okay. I cry more as I get older though. Very weird. Sidebar.
That's the thing.
But we dropped him off at college and I legit, it was a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive. I sobbed the whole way home until like one point my husband was finally just like, will you please just close your eyes and take a nap? Because he couldn't listen to me.
That's probably going to be me.
Cry anymore. And it's so hard too with boys. Like I feel like your girls, like they text you,
Right.
like even Bug, she'll
Absolutely.
text me from school, she'll call me from school, they're more interactive. Boys, it's like pulling teeth to get information out of them.
I absolutely agree with that.
Which I think just makes it all the harder.
I believe that for sure.
Yeah.
Because as we mentioned earlier, like you're enjoying getting to have him be your friend now. And I am very much looking forward to that because when she was itty bitty, my husband was gone for an extended period of time. And she was like, she just went everywhere with me. And she was and so I'm looking forward to her being able to like be my friend and not have to be as hands-on in the parenting because I know it never ends.
It never ends. It really doesn't. It just turns into different things. Like it used to be, this is how you tie your shoes and this is how we write a thank you note and this is how we send a letter and that's how we behave appropriately in public. Right. And this is how we shower, and boys, wear your deodorant. I don't know why that is such a thing at teenage years.
Wash your smelly parts.
Wash your smelly bits. But then it just turns into different things. Like, did you sign up for your insurance in the open window of enrollment at your job? Did you dedicate your 401k to? Yes, let's talk about buying a house so we're not paying someone else's mortgage at an apartment. Just all of those parenting pieces of, you know, balancing checkbooks and bills and life and you're still teaching them the appropriate skills like, hey bud, it's grandma's birthday, don't forget to call her, like you know, those things. And we're blessed in some ways that my son is still unattached, so we still get to do like
every holiday together
and holidays that I don't have to share just yet. That's going to be the next real hard piece.
That will be really hard. Absolutely. Yes. So if you could give your younger self advice, what advice would you give your younger self? Who's either just starting to have kids or like in the throes of
I think I would tell my younger person, play with them more, spend time with them more. Don't worry about the house. Don't worry about the Instagram worthy meal. And don't worry about your makeup and your hair. Nobody cares.
Absolutely.
I would say I wish I could go back and just tell my younger self, throw on your sweatpants, pull your hair up in a ponytail, and be with your kids every single moment. Because before you know it, you're going to be old and it's going to be gone. And you don't get to do it again.
That's for sure.
What would you tell your younger self?
I would probably say take more videos than you think you need. Because you'll miss their little voices.
Oh my gosh.
And you won't,
little squeaky.
You just won't realize like how much has changed until it's changed and you hear a bit, like you see a video or you hear their voice. And like I have a friend from high school who wrote a book about wear the dang swimsuit, just like do the things with them. It doesn't matter, like you said, how you look,
get wet, get dirty.
Just, get in there with them. Because if I'm being totally honest, playing was not my favorite thing.
It wasn't mine either.
And like, not that I think that you need to be like hands-on, because they do obviously need the independent play that builds a lot of skills and things that we don't even need to get into, because I'm not an OT or a child psychologist. But
no,
you want to make those memories. Like,
yes.
The more of them.
And it gives you some insight into what interests them and what they like, and you just get to spend time with them. And I know when you're in the trenches of it, it feels like you have so much time and it's going to be forever and it's never ending, almost sometimes to where you're like, oh my gosh, this is never going to end. But I promise you it does, and it's faster than you think it's going to. And I wasn't great at playing either. My parents didn't play with me, really. I, not because they didn't love me or care about me.
Right.
I think some of that's generational. My parents are both baby boomers. Even though we're quite a difference in age, I feel like your parents are pretty close to my parents' age.
Probably.
Yeah. And so they're just a different generation where you spent, like, my mom spent time with me, but she didn't really play. Yeah. Right? Like, there wasn't that play. So I think we didn't learn to play. So I tried to do that a little bit more with my kids, but I really hope that my kids play with your kids. It's so fun. Yeah. Nobody cares if you're imperfect.
Speaking of so fun, what was your favorite ages or stages?
So I absolutely adore newborn stage.
Me too.
I know it's exhausting. I don't care. I love that when they're still like curled up and they lay on you. I adore that.
Me too.
I really like the first grade, like 6, 7.
7.
Right.
Sorry.
I really like that age because they can have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
But you're still cool and know everything, and they still love you like to the moon and back, and they'll still snuggle with you.
Yeah, that's true. Although I can still get my Bubba to snuggle me sometimes.
Can you really?
Mm-hmm. Well, when he was like 7 or 8, maybe 9, I was like, are you going to still snuggle me when you're older? And he's like, I will. And so like, if we're watching a movie, like having a movie night, he'll still like snuggle up.
So sweet. I have to like force mine. I'm like, come on.
That's
he's
my
like,
older.
Mom. I'm like,
come on.
Now, Bug.
She will
still cuddle me, but she's more like my husband. She's like a touchy-feely person.
Yeah.
My twin.
Love language.
He's like me. He's more like a cactus. Don't touch me.
That is also my older one. But she never was, even when she was a baby. Like, and part of that, I'll tell you guys, this is hilarious. I can't almost believe I'm admitting this, but when we were in the hospital with her, and they put them in that little like plastic bassinet thing, I looked at the nurse and I was like, can I hold her? And she was like, honey, she's yours. You can do whatever you want with. And I feel like that's something, first of all, that they don't prep you enough for.
They don't.
Like, they just let you take home this whole little
human
person and like,
good luck.
Yeah. So that was something that I was like, oh, I can hold her whenever I want to.
You can do whatever you want. And you're right. They don't prep you for that, because immediately after you have the baby, they like put it on your chest for a second and then they whisk it away to like do all the things. Yeah. So then once all the hubbub dies down, you're looking at this tiny little thing in this bassinet and you're like, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
And the answer is whatever you want. You can feed it. You can change it. You can put it in outfits. You can lay it on your chest. Yes. It's your baby.
It's yours.
We are not experts, but again, nobody tells you these things.
No, they don't. And that was something that I was like, oh, okay. And then you get home and you start to feel confident, and then something happens inevitably and you're like, oh, okay, knock down a pig.
Parenting question for you.
Okay.
Do you ever look around and go, who the heck is in charge here? And then have this moment where you're like, oh crap, it's me.
Yeah, I often am like, how am I old enough to be an adult? How am I old enough to be an adult? Like, who decided that was a good idea? Like, I should be the one in charge.
Who's in charge? And you're like, I don't know. Who is in charge?
I was like, shoot, it's me. Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Agree. Okay. So what was a low of your parenting and a
high? So a high was probably, again, my husband was gone for an extended period of time, but my kids, we had both. And they were, I think, second grade and like preschool. And Bubba got, like, he had influenza B. We had gone to urgent care. He had influenza B. And they were prescribing all the things, right, to get over it. And so we didn't live terribly far at the time from the Walgreens. But as always, when they give you a prescription, it's not instantly filled. So we get home, we're all settled, and I get the message, the notification that I can go pick up the prescription, of course, because we're all settled at home. But I looked at them and I was like, Sugar, are you okay? Mommy's going to be gone for like 5 minutes tops. And I was able to leave them both at home together. Don't judge me. And
you do what you got to do.
You do what you got to do. And so I ran and I came back and I was telling a friend that, and they were like, well, of course, because she's the most responsible second grader on the planet. And I was like, oh, she's known as the most responsible second grader. Like that was definitely a proud moment.
The most responsible second grader usually.
She is very responsible, sometimes more responsible than me.
Oh, true.
And a low, I feel like I've had a lot of lows. Yeah, I mean, my son was a biter, and there was like a whole phase of where I constantly felt like I was failing and nothing I was doing could get through to him. That was probably one of the toughest parts of parenting, for sure. What about you?
So I think I'll just do my low first. Was just navigating that whole special needs diagnosis and having to simultaneously not treat your child any different, figure out what's wrong with your child, but not really let them know that there's something wrong or different about them.
Yeah.
Be their most fierce advocate and cheerleader while mourning all of these things that you thought were going to be a certain way in their life, and realizing that that's probably not what's going to be, or it's going to look different. And having to do all of that simultaneously. And I don't know that I always did that really perfectly. And then having to tell people and not be mad at their response.
Yeah.
Because people do not act well with that.
I think you handled it really well, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. It's a balancing act. And I just feel like that was probably like a low time for me as a parent, because there is no handbook for that.
No, there's not.
Just like we were saying, there's things that nobody tells you, but this is even more so in that arena. Like there is no handbook for that.
Yep.
A high for me, I think, would be actually with my son. He was a typical teenage boy. Can we just start there, right? Like trashy room, smelled like a locker room, constantly playing video games or Pokemon cards or whatever, like just all the things. And you're like, is there even like a person in like what is happening? And he went on a trip with our church, and they were building houses, and they got back, and one of the older gentlemen who I was friends with said, I just love him. He is such a cool young man. He has such a great work ethic. You tell him to do something and he just goes and does it. There's no back talk. There's no, like, he is just, his work ethic was admirable. And I was just so proud. I was like, I probably had nothing to do with that, but I'm going to take all the credit.
I will take that. Absolutely. Yes. I love it.
Oh gosh. Well, should we maybe get the cookies out of the oven and talk about what our current craving is?
Let's do it.
Okay. So our cookies are out of the oven, and I got
not on the tape.
I got each of us two, because why not? So we're gonna taste these. They are not scalding hot for once.
No, we let them.
Oh my gosh, they're so gooey. And the edges are just a little crisp.
They're perfect.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Can you see the middle of that?
In case you can't, it's amazing.
I love this.
I think that should be our next mission with the podcast, inventing like smell-o-vision or taste-o-vision.
Ooh, that would be super cool, right? Okay. So speaking of craving delicious chocolate chip cookies and smell-o-vision, let's talk about our current craving. Ashley, what is your current craving?
Okay, mine has nothing to do with anything that you would eat, but a while back I was on a trip. I think that's when it happened that I discovered these clips. They're like a lay flat clip. So we are in and out a lot And as Danny, we talked about our old lady habits or
hobbies.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
I am in and out a lot and I garden, and I love to just be able to like pull it back, do a little flip clip. I have multiple colors, sizes. My hair is also very fine. But these still work really great in my hair.
Yeah. Awesome.
What's your current craving?
So my current craving, and again, none of this is sponsored. These are just
right.
things that we
Absolutely.
really love. Are these Sungbloom Editor like skincare masks. This particular one is Deep Collagen Power Boosting Mask. They're those ones, if you've seen them on social media, where you like look like you have a white mask on and you're supposed to sleep in them.
Yes.
And then you wake up the next morning and you have like that glass skin. So as I've gotten older, I am drying out more and more every passing year. And so I am fighting that with everything possible. And this does an amazing job. And I even take out like the little bits and pieces from like the eye holes and the mouth hole, and I will put them on my décolleté area. And it does amazing things. So we will put links for those in the show notes so you guys can grab some of those if you would like.
Yeah, I love it. So now that we've talked about our favorites, we have a question for our listeners.
We do have a question for our listeners. We would love to hear from you. So put it in a comment, send us an email. If you could go back and do it exactly the same, would you? And if not, what would you change?
So I would not. I think I would, my husband, if it was up to him, we would have probably like 10 children. I don't want 10, but I would have had more. And I would have had to have them closer together if we were going to have more. But because he was gone for long periods of time throughout that early years, we had 2. And although I love that, I wish we had just a couple more.
Yeah.
A little closer together in age. And I will also say having the second child be a special needs kid, even though we didn't get a diagnosis for many, many, many years. When you're in that hard, it's really hard to think about having another kid. So
amen.
Yeah. What about you? Would you do it the same?
I would not. I would definitely not do it exactly the same. I think like you, like to have had more children. I definitely would have had to do mine closer together because mine are a decade apart. Yeah. But I think I would definitely have had a couple more. I think when I was in the thick of it, especially with a special needs one, you think, how could I add another human to this chaos? But really, I think what I didn't realize until I got friends that had had larger families when I was older, and I realized that it actually calmed chaos because the kids had more people to rely on, and they kind of did more of building their own little team,
right?
Which I think would have been really amazing for them.
Yeah, and fun to watch.
And just, I think going back to it too, I think I would have played with them more. I would have worried less about all the like should have and should be and and I would have just been with my kids more and not worried about it.
Right. I agree. So let us know in the comments, what would you change, or would you do it exactly the same?
Yeah. Maybe you did it and you were like, I think I did that well. I would do it the same. And then we want to know your secrets.
Exactly. Tell us your secrets.
Well, we look forward to seeing you for our next batch.
Bye, guys.